Hello, hello, hello. I am Poetic Heretic, and this is another Seth Stream analysis where we will be taking a look at the nature of the psyche, a Seth book by Jane Roberts. Now, this is the first time that I've done this in a little while, so I'm hoping that I have all the settings just right. Also, I apologize, the air conditioner, yes, I know indeed it is on in the background, which, well, now it's about to click off. It is going to have to be on from time to time because it is extremely hot where I am right now, and it would just be absolutely unbearable to not have it on, but I have it so it's only going to click on as much as it needs to. Like, I have the temperature set a bit higher than normal, so it'll be a little bit warm in here for me, but it shouldn't be too bad, so that way we'll be interrupted less often or distracted less often as we proceed through our stream here. So let me just get everything set up here. If you're watching this after the fact, you can always fast forward by a few minutes or however long it takes for me to make sure everything's working. I don't think it should take too long. Just going to preview it on my phone here real quick, make sure the audio is good and everything. Why can't I find it though? That's really irritating. One moment. Okay, here it is. I guess I have to watch an ad first. Okay. Okay, yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. All right. Guess that's as good as it's gonna get. All right, so now we've got that out of the way. I guess we can just get right into it then. Hey, what's up, Ryan? The blue light looks so nice. I'm glad you like it. Chose a blue and purple theme for my more like spiritual streams, like the Seth streams and the astrology and tarot streams, because I think the colors are quite appropriate for it. The color blue stimulates creativity, and it also corresponds to the throat chakra, which is all about how we communicate and mental clarity and things of that nature. And then the color purple is very much associated with like the spiritual realms and psychic abilities and all of these kinds of things. So I thought like a blue and purple theme would be most appropriate for these kinds of streams. So thank you again for showing up here tonight, Ryan. So feels a little weird to be doing this again because it has been a while because of all the, I don't know, craziness that has been going on, and things are still a little bit crazy, but I think they're stabilizing enough for me to at least do some more of these Seth streams. So indeed, this is only part 2 of our analysis of the nature of the psyche. Part 1 I actually did as an audio only video that is still up on my channel now, if anyone wants to take a look at that. Just a quick note as well, we should have vastly superior audio quality as a result of my new setup here, of my powerful new computer that I was so fortunate to get. There should be no more crackling or static or interruption. This is all basically being rendered or decoded or whatever locally on my own computer and then uploaded to YouTube live as we're streaming here. So basically what that means, to the best of my knowledge and understanding, is my computer can make sure everything's done right first and then send it to YouTube. That's what that means in layman's terms, I guess. What else? The video quality, probably not going to see any difference there. I Could use a new webcam. Been thinking of getting one. I probably will eventually, but I'm not sure when just yet. So the video quality is still going to be just kind of what it was, I guess. Maybe a little bit smoother, I would think, I would hope. But unfortunately, I'm still working with my ancient as hell webcam. But don't worry, I'll get a new one soon enough. So yes, hopefully we can start doing these Seth streams regularly again now that things are kind of stabilizing, and I can indeed do them as live streams and not as pre-recorded videos. Let's see. YouTube finally notifying me. That's good to know. I'm in quarantine due to having some symptoms. I did get COVID tested yesterday morning. Now I'm waiting on the results. Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, I hope you'll be okay, Ryan. Yeah, that stuff is nothing to mess around with. That's for sure. It was crazy. I just had to get a blood test just yesterday, and not because they think I have COVID or anything, thankfully, but it was crazy being in that environment. And of course, I was at the doctor this past week because I had this wretched infection on my arm. It's a lot to get into, but it's basically healed by now. But they had to test my blood to make sure that there's not still any infection in my blood or anything. And it's just crazy how everyone's wearing masks, and when the people were answering the phone at the doctor's office, they're we're still under the COVID guidelines. And I'm scrolling through my phone while waiting, and I'm on Twitter, and there's all these tweets about it. It's geez, it's crazy times we're living in. But I can't say I'm surprised. As an astrologer, I'm hardly ever surprised these days because of things like the Saturn-Pluto conjunction and things of this nature. Let's see. But yeah, I do hope that you will be all right, Ryan. I hope that you don't have COVID at least. And if you do, I hope you recover. 720p I think is fine enough for a basic stream, honestly. Yeah, I think it is, which, wait a minute, am I streaming in 720p? Did I forget to change that to 1080p? No, I think I'm in 1080p, but yeah, you shouldn't really need, for something like this, you shouldn't really need 1080p. I put it in that because I can. Also, I'm gonna resize my OBS streaming software a bit here so I can kind of see some things on YouTube as well. Please bear with me. Like I said, this is first time I'm doing a Seth stream in this way. Okay. Let's see, if I do this, I can monitor the amount of viewers and stuff. Although it's also a little distracting. I don't know. I wish with OBS I could just see directly how many people are watching through that. That would be convenient, but anyway, I guess we should get started. I'll continue to monitor the chat and respond to it and read at the same time. So without further ado, let's see, we're now 8.5 minutes in. Okay. Let us begin with chapter 2. Your dreaming psyche is awake. It was 11:50. Jane had been in an excellent trance state. After we talked for a few minutes, she added, "My God, I've got chapter 2. No, it's too late. I don't have the heading for chapter 1 yet, but I've got it for the next one." She looked bleary, her eyes dark. I told her she appeared to be too tired to continue. "No, I'm not," she retorted. Her denial was both funny and dogged, for I could see that she underlined was tired. But she went on. "Now let me get a couple of paragraphs on the chapter. The heading is, Your Dreaming Psyche is Awake." Then Seth came through at once. You have hypnotized yourselves so that it seems to you that there are great divisions between your waking and your sleeping experience. Yet each of you will fall asleep tonight, and you will have experiences that you forget only because you have been told that you cannot remember them. Many of the other dimensions of your own reality appear clearly when you are sleeping, however. When you sleep, you forget all definitions that you have placed upon yourself and your own existence through training. In sleep, you use images and languages in their pure form. In the dream state, languages and images are wedded in a way that seems alien only because you have forgotten their great alliance. Initially, language was meant to express and release, not to define and limit. So when you dream, images and language merge often, so that each becomes an expression of the other and each fulfills the other. The interconnections between each are practically used. When you awaken, you try to squeeze the psyche's language into terms of definition. You imagine that language and images are two different things, so you try to, quote-unquote, put them together. In dreams, however, you use the true ancient language of your being. That will be enough for now. End of session. As Rupert would say, peace and cheers. Thank you, Seth. Good night. The session ended at 11:59 p.m., and once again, Jane was full of energy. Jane has decided that she'll let my ordinary session notes, brief as they are, suffice for Psyche, and that she'll add a few, if any, of her own. She does plan to write an introduction, though. Before Seth finished dictating Chapter 2, Jane got from him mentally the heading for Chapter 1 and inserted it into this manuscript. Okay, and that is indeed the end of that session. Let's see. As for myself, I've been dealing with a chronic cough, sore throat, headache, and overall loss of appetite and energy loss. That sucks. Are those, let me think, chronic cough, sore throat, headache, and overall loss of appetite and energy loss? Yeah, I don't even know what the symptoms for COVID really are, but I think there's quite a few. So slept practically for 20 hours recently, yet still feel tired. I did eat some vegetable soup and drink water, so I'm not ignoring nutrition. That's good, at least. Yeah, well, Ryan, as you probably recall by now, you, like me, are a Libra rising. And that means when you use whole sign houses in the way that I do, we both have the same sixth house of health, which is Pisces. Now, your Jupiter is not where mine is, and that's what I connected to this recent health issue that I had. Basically, Mercury retrograde. In its retrograde, in hard aspects to both the malefics in the same sign as Jupiter, the ruler of my sixth house of health. But nonetheless, we both have Jupiter as the ruler anyway, and Jupiter is not in good condition right now at all. It is in Capricorn, the sign of its fall, and it's retrograde, which is not good for it. So, and it's co-present with Pluto, which is not helping anything, I'm sure, as well now, just recently, since July 1st, with Saturn again. So, yeah, all Libra rising people out there, like myself and like Ryan, I feel for you right now because the ruler of your sixth house is in terrible condition. And so this is unfortunately for many Librans a time of like health issues, sadly. But, well, I'll just leave it at that because I could talk about this stuff forever. Oh shit, I'm getting an error message on here. As such, viewers will experience some buffering. Oh no. Well, I hope people aren't experiencing too much buffering, but I guess we'll just have to hope that it's all right and let the show go on from here. All right, session 756, September 22nd, 1975, 9:17 p.m., Monday. Shortly before the session, Jane told me she thought we'd get material on the new book as well as some other information we were interested in. We've had several guests since the last session was held. I've been busy putting my own notes for Seth's unknown reality in order, and have also allowed myself some painting time each day. Jane is involved in writing notes of her own. She's had 3 dream visits to what certainly seem to be probable realities, and is describing those in her own records. Good evening, Seth. Now, we will begin with dictation, the continuation of Chapter 2. Pause. Your quote-unquote dreaming psyche seems to be dreaming only because you do not recognize that particular state of awareness as your own. The quote-unquote dreaming psyche is actually as awake as you are in your normal waking life. The organization of wakefulness is different, however. You come into dreaming from a different angle, so to speak. The quote-unquote off-center quality sensed in dream activity, the different viewpoints, the perspective alterations, all can add to a chaotic picture when the dream state is viewed from the waking one. Centuries ago, in your terms, words and images had a closer relationship, now somewhat tarnished, and this older relationship appears in the dream fabric. We will use English here as an example. The great descriptive nature of names, for instance, can give you an indication of the unity of image and word as they appear in your dreams. Once, a man who tailored clothes was named Tailor. A man who was a robber was called Robber. If you were the son of a man with a certain name, then son of was simply added, so you had Robberson. Each reader can think of many such examples. That's funny because I think I thought of that many times before, just like in myself. That was something that, I don't know, many years ago I pondered. I thought, it sounds like names just came from people developing language like that over time. You know, like Seth used the example of Robertson, and there's like, Johnson, and I don't know, all these kinds of things. Let's see, health and astrology would make a great stream idea. Ooh, thank you. Yeah, I think that's true. That could be interesting. Talk about how to like help people explain how to understand their health based on their astrological chart. Yeah. Oh yeah, I could definitely deliver some information on that. So I may do that sometime. Let's see. Let me go to stream health here, because earlier it said, now it says stream is healthy. I don't know. I guess I'll hope that it's not experiencing too much, if any, buffering. All right. Now, names are not as descriptive. You may have a dream, however, in which you see a tailor's shop. The tailor may be dancing or dying or getting married. Later, in waking life, you may discover that a friend of yours, a Mr. Taylor, spelled, has a party or dies or gets married, whatever the case may be. Yet you might never connect the dream with a later event because you did not understand the way that words and images can be united in your dreams. 932. Your waking life is the result of the most precise kind of organization, held competently and with amazing clarity. While each person views that reality from a slightly different focus, still it occurs within certain ranges or frequencies. You bring it into clear focus in almost the same way that you adjust your television picture, only in this case not only sound and images are synchronized, but phenomena of far greater complexity. Following this analogy, everyone sees a slightly different picture of reality and follows his or her own program, yet all of the quote-unquote sets are the same. When you dream, however, you are to some extent experiencing reality from a different quote-unquote set entirely. By the way, yes, that is my air conditioner clicking on again. I apologize. I know that's going to be somewhat audible in the background, but I don't really have much of a choice because it is extremely hot here from where I am streaming. So I have the temperature a bit higher, so it only comes on when it has to. But it does have to come on at least some of the time, otherwise I would be dying here. All right. Now, when you try to adjust your dreaming set in the same way that you would the waking one, you end up with static and blurred images. The set itself, however, is quite as effective as the one you use when you are awake, and it has a far greater range. It can bring in many programs. When you watch your ordinary television program, perhaps on a Saturday afternoon, you view the program as an observer. Let me give you an example. Rupert and Joseph often watch old Star Trek reruns, humorously, as they eat their evening meal. They sit quite comfortably on their living room couch, with dinner on the coffee table, surrounded by all of the dear, homey paraphernalia that is familiar to your society. As they sit thus comfortably ensconced, leaning forward with a smile, they observe dramas in which planets explode and other world intelligences rise to challenge or to help the dauntless captain of the good ship Enterprise and the fearless Spock. But none of this threatens our friends, Rupert and Joseph. They drink their coffee and eat their dessert. Now, your normal waking reality can be compared to a kind of television drama in which you participate directly in all of the dramas presented. You create them to begin with. You form your private and joint adventures and bring them into experience by using your physical apparatus, your body, and in a particular way, tuned in to a large programming area in which, however, there are many different stations. In your terms, these stations come alive. Underlined, you are the drama that you experience, and all of your activities seem to revolve about you. Underlined, you are also the perceiver. In the dream state, it is as if you have a still different television set that is, however, connected with your own. Using it, you can perceive events not only from your own viewpoint, but from other focuses. Using that set, you can leap from station to station, so to speak, not simply perceiving, but experiencing what is happening in other times and places. 951. Events, then, are organized in a different fashion. Not only can you experience dramas in which you are intimately involved, as in waking life, but your range of activities is multiplied so that you can view events, quote-unquote, from outside your own usual context. You can look down at a drama on the one hand, for example, and participate in it as well. Welcome back, Ryan. When you are dealing with normal waking reality, you are operating at one level of the many that are native to your psyche. When you are dreaming, from underlined your viewpoint, you are entering other levels of reality quite. Says I'm reconnected. Okay, am I back? Oh, this is very, very strange. Let me check this on my phone. Am I back? Am I back?